In last night's MAAC quarterfinals, Siena survived a very near miss by Manhattan's Kadani Brutus to reach overtime, where senior Owen Wignott continued his career game as the Saints pulled the upset. Now they'll be facing the Loyola Greyhounds, the number 2 seed, with the coach of the year in the conference, Jimmy Patsos. It's the Greyhounds against the Saints, and it's coming up next. Welcome to the 2012 MAAC Men's Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. It's the Siena College Saints taking on the Loyola University Greyhounds in our second MAAC semifinal. And the winner of this game will play tomorrow night in the finals against Fairfield. The Stags, seeded 4th, earlier this afternoon, upset the top-seeded Iona Gales. And welcome, everybody, to Springfield, Massachusetts. Doug Sherman along with former Division I assistant coach Rob Kennedy. This Siena team played into the early hours of this morning to win in overtime, and it'll be interesting to see if they have anything left in the gas tank here today.
And all 6 guys that played in that game played 35 or more minutes, but they've been used to it all season long. They've been just 6 deep. It's a tough turnaround for them, though, here this afternoon.
Okay, let's take a look at our one-on-one for this second men's semifinal here at the MAAC tournament.
Well, Odiana Sicki, who has been a dominant player inside all season long, coming up with his 23rd double-double of the season last night, continues to lead the country in rebounding. On the other end, Eric Etherly, who brings as much energy and athleticism to the floor as any player in the MAAC. He was a first-team All-MAAC selection and very efficient in getting to his 21 points in the quarterfinal, 8 of 11 from the field.
That's our Blue Rock Energy one-on-one. Now for our starting lineup, brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. Energize your day with Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee. It's double brewed and made the way you like it. And just like in last night's quarterfinal, Rob Poole will get the start, while Evan Hines, the team's all-rookie point guard, will come off the bench nursing a troublesome knee. And for Loyola, Dylan Cormier, R.J. Williams, Robert Olson, Eric Etherly, and Shane Walker, a veteran experience lineup except for the point guard that is on the verge of getting to the MAAC championship game for just the second time in school history. Let's take a look at our coaching matchup, brought to you by Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock. And we're going to begin with Jimmy Patsos, who we showed you off the top, the fiery 8th-year head coach of the Greyhounds, and the coach of the year this season. His club having won 20 games for the first time in its Division I history. They are at 22 wins and counting. And there is Mitch Bonaguro in his 2nd year as head coach at Siena. This is his 2nd tenure as a head coach in this conference. He was the Fairfield head coach back to the 80s. A 1975 Boston College graduate. And let's take a look at our American Red Cross keys to the game.
Well, we can't shy away from the fact that the biggest key for Siena, how are they going to bounce back to back after that emotional win late last night into the early morning? And then on the other thing they've got to worry about Loyola and their pressure defense. The Hounds had 19 steals in a matchup against them earlier this year. Loyola, they've got to create chaos. I'm not just talking about Jimmy on the sideline. I'm talking about with their pressure defense, get up and try and force turnovers. And then they've got to dominate the paint. It may be blue out there. Again, he's got to make sure that it's green on the offensive backboards as well as on their post-ups.
Jim Haney, Gary Prager, Brian O'Connell, the 3 officials. Loyola wins the tip, Eric Etherly. And the Greyhounds in their home white uniforms as the higher seed and the favorite. Siena going with its lucky gold uniform. Dylan Cormier misfires on his first attempt.
And the first attempt of the game for Loyola is a 3, and they don't take a lot of threes.
And here is senior Kyle Downey, one of the captains for Siena, who fouled out of last night's quarterfinal late in regulation and had to wait to see if his teammates would extend his college career, and that indeed they did. Walters is denied. Etherly back out to Walker. So consecutive threes to begin the game for Loyola.
One of the things, talking to Jimmy Patsos earlier today, he said, when I got together with the team, I reminded them, hey, look, we put up over 80 points in our last ball game. We only took 10 threes. We can score the basketball if we pound it right there in the paint.
Atherley gets the roll. The junior from Alexandria, Virginia, averaging over 13 points per game. First team all MAAC. Downey pulls up along the baseline and missed by several inches. Atherley, no. Walker, yes.
Well, there are the live bodies that Loyola can throw at you. Jimmy Patsos not afraid to get guys in and out. And this is as long, lean, and athletic a front line as you're going to see in the MAAC.
Brandon Walters, coming off his career game in the quarterfinals, gets Siena on the board.
Talk about a tough finish. The lefty jump hook with the defender right on.
Now, Siena has gone all year with its big three of Evan Himes, Kyle Downey, and Odi Anisiki, but it was the little three, if you will, of Wignott, Walters, and Poole that were the catalyst for last night's victory. All three either matching or exceeding their career highs in points. Olsen goes around Poole. Loyola will keep it with 6 on the shot clock. I'm talking about the big three for Siena. Himes on the all-rookie team. Anisiki on the first-team all-conference. Jimmy Patsos led R.J. Williams here. And there's the Siena season recap. The starters lead the country in minutes per game. Here's Owen Wignott coming off an outstanding game last night. Good energy to start here in the semifinal round. And the Saints have tied it up.
Wignott, last night's hero, as he hit the three to send the game into overtime. You mentioned it, Doug, the career high 22. A lot of it done from beyond the three-point line. See, one of the things that's always been a key for these Saints, they don't foul you a whole lot, although they had foul trouble last night. Only 14 per game.
Jimmy Patsos in the ear of Dylan Cormier, who gives it back to him a little bit. And there you see the numbers on a historic season for Loyola University. First time they've won 8 in a row. First time they've gone over 20 wins. First time they had back-to-back home sellouts at Reitz Arena in Baltimore. And this is the first time they've come into the MAAC tournament as the number 2 seed.
Yeah, their highest finish ever inside the MAAC on the strength of a school record 13 wins. But it's been like that. Every time you throw up a number, it's a historic number for this team.
If they get by Siena here today, they will move on to the championship game for just the second time. Back in '94 when Skip Prosser was their head coach. The Greyhounds made it to the championship game and won. There was an elbow to the face of Kyle Downey from Walker, and play continues. Strong move by Justin Drummond. Atherley keeps it alive, but it comes to Walters.
How athletic and active is he around the rim? That's where, as the game wears on, one of the big concerns of Mitch Bonagura is how will his team be able to respond late in the ball game. They've struggled in back-to-backs when they've been Friday, Sunday. And this one less than 24 hours turnaround.
Odi Anisiki. His first 2, Siena has its first lead.
And if he can post that deep, that's where he is really effective. You got to try to push him off his spot, force him outside the lane.
Drummond against the zone, can't get the roll. Little screen and roll action, and Brandon Walters is headed to the free throw line when we come back. Well, earlier this morning, about 12:35, the quarterfinal round ended for Siena. The Saints back on the floor in the semis.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying? 0! How much Pepsi tastes? A lot! Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference has provided thrills and excitement to college basketball fans for over 30 years. Now you can get an inside look at the league schools and its student athletes by visiting the MAAC Experience at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Check out the MAAC's rich history and be sure to take in the featured video, A Day in the Life of a MAAC Student Athlete. Don't miss the MAAC Experience at the Basketball Hall of Fame. For more information, visit hoophall.com.
Anaconda Sports, your sports authority, proudly supporting local high school athletes throughout the region. We want to thank all the teams and coaches that have made Anaconda the #1 dealer in the Northeast. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, whatever your sport, Anaconda has what you're looking for. From the latest gear and team uniforms to logo shirts and hats for your company. Make Anaconda your connection.
Hey, if you want to go for sports equipment, go to Anaconda Sports. It's awesome, baby.
The Pepsi Max National MAAC Game of the Week is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Blue Rock Energy. Blue Rock Energy saves you money on electricity and natural gas. Blue Rock Energy, putting people in power. The American Red Cross, encouraging you to do something that means something. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. See how much you could save when you visit geico.com. In last night's quarterfinal win over Manhattan, Siena used, as is their custom, only 6 players. Walters played 40 minutes. Odi Anisicki played 38. Kyle Downey 36. Owen Wignott 39. Rob Poole 35. And Evan Himes 37 off the bench. So how much will they have left? Now, less than 48 hours, or 24 hours later, rather.
And it was interesting talking to Mitch. I said, what'd you do today to try to get guys to bounce back? He said, well, I made sure we got up for breakfast, and then I asked the guys what they wanted to do. Some of them went to the pool to try and get stretched out, and jump in the whirlpool. A bunch of guys went back to bed, and I don't blame them. It was a late night. Also, think about it. They got out of here probably around 1 o'clock to get back to the hotel. You've got to be amped up. That was such an emotional game, a draining game. It's not as if you're going to be able to get right to the hotel room and fall asleep easily.
Evan Himes is now checked into the game for the first time. The all-rookie point guard of the Saints, who in the regular season finale suffered a knee injury, and his status for this tournament was very much in doubt. But he played very well last night with 10 assists, and he's got the basketball now off of the takeaway by Wignott.
Well, Wignott showing you good energy to start off this game.
Downey, little floater, and he gets the roll. Siena's lead is 4. 4 different Siena players now with field goals. Jordan Latham has come into the game for the first time for the Greyhounds, as has Anthony Winbush. Walters with the tip away, and here come the Saints. Downey. Foul. Olsen will send Downey to the line. Well, he had Himes off to his left, off the steal, but decided to keep it himself.
A good defensive action there by Brandon Walters to tip it away, and then Downey attacking the rim.
After getting some substitution questions taken care of, Olsen had gone straight to the bench, but couldn't check out yet until this free throw. Now he can go out. Siena has scored 9 straight points after falling behind 4-zip. And there is Olsen on the bench. Julius Brooks has come in for the first time. Justin Drummond with a basketball, the 6th man of the year in the conference this season. Winbush, Brooks, Walker, and Cormier, the others on the floor for Loyola.
Interesting as well, Doug. Both these teams going against teams that are very similar defensively to the teams that they saw last night. Siena plays zone, much like Loyola saw from Niagara. And on the other side, you get a Loyola team that wants to try and create some pace with their defense.
As the shot clock expires, the shot misses the rim, and so it's a turnover by Loyola.
And Loyola's got to attack against that zone defense, much like they did yesterday. Even though they were playing zone, they got score after score inside the paint against that Niagara zone. They scored 44 points inside the paint last night.
You saw the number there, Rob. Loyola's turned it over 4 times already.
That ball looked like it hit the bottom of the backboard, but no whistle.
There goes Himes. 10 to shoot. Odiana City kicks out to Wignot. Tough catch and shoot. And it rattles out. Cormier dropping it off. Julius Brooks lost it on the way up. Out the left knee brace on Evan Himes with the basketball. He certainly seemed to be free and easy with that knee last night, Rob.
Yeah, he was quick to the basketball and had a terrific game coming up with the 10 assists.
Able to make cuts. Wignot. Well, you know, he has been a tremendous MAAC tournament player in his career. Coming into today, he had shot 69% in tournament play for his 4-year career.
Yeah, and look what he did last night, 4 of 5 from beyond the three-point line when he was 16 of 60 coming in on the season. So some guys save their best for the most important times. One of those seniors who does not want his career to end.
Winbush somehow able to gather and put it in. That snaps the 11-0 Siena run.
And going to his weak hand, remember he's a lefty, but able to get the jump hook in the paint with his right. In years past, Loyola was so dependent upon their pressure defense, but this year it's really been their solid man-to-man half-court defense that has gotten them to these 20 wins.
Stay hot, Owen Wignot.
Yeah. And playing with a ton of confidence and a ton of energy.
7 points for Wignot. And again, this from a young man from from Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, rather. As Walker connects on the 3. Wignot averaging just 7 points per game on the year. He's already there today.
Yeah, and he only had 4 games throughout the whole season that he was in double figures.
And he went for 22 last night. Had the tying 3-point shot with only 8 seconds left in regulation. Here he is, off to Himes, NBA 3. Brooks tries to save it and does, and here comes Dylan Cormier. Lost it on the spin, and hey, who's got the basketball? It's Owen Wignot. Downey on the putback.
Well, somehow able to make the tip. Great effort by the Greyhounds to get back and block the basketball. Jimmy Patsos not happy with his team's effort here in the beginning of this ball game. Has to burn his 2nd timeout. Oh, good recovery coming in from the weak side is Shane Walker, but nobody else is running with Walker. Walker comes up with the block, but Downey there to redirect on a nice tip.
Well, Coach Patsos not real happy.
You just got to be careful that the game's not all about energy, and it's about execution as well. He's already taken 2 timeouts here early, been all over his team. Let's see how they're able to respond.
Well, if you're new to watching Loyola games, this is nothing new. This is what the players are accustomed to seeing from their coach, and while they may not like it, they certainly are used to it. And there is a method to the madness for Jimmy Patsos. R.J. Williams back into the ball game at the point for the Greyhounds with Cormier, Olsen, Etherly, and Walker.
And not only did Loyola score it in the paint in their quarterfinal win, they defended the paint as well. That hasn't been the case early against Siena.
No change of possession there, so the shot clock continues to wind down at 11. Cormier, nice job to get to the bucket.
An even better job to somehow finish once he got there.
Cormier went for 23 points against Niagara in the quarterfinals. He averages just a touch under 14 per game. Last Monday he was named second team all-conference. Siena will keep it here at midcourt with 19 on the shot clock. Timeout on the floor here at the MAAC Mutual Center. Dylan Cormier and the Greyhounds of Loyola down by 5 to Siena.
Hey, what are you drinking?
Dunkin' Ice.
The biggest iced coffee I can get.
Iced coffee helps me keep up. I love iced coffee.
Drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'.
Dunkin'
Iced coffee.
I run on Dunkin' Iced Coffee.
America runs on Dunkin' Coffee.
Everyone here at Iona College has a great spirit of enthusiasm as students start to see our facilities and speak to our faculty. They realize this college gives our students a great opportunity to learn more about themselves and go on to fantastic careers in whatever field they choose.
The first thing that strikes you when you arrive at campus is the beautiful buildings and grounds. But above all, Iona focuses on students and student success. And Iona is an institution that changes lives.
Hey, what are you drinking? I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Coffee. Black, straight up.
Extra cream, 3 sugars.
French vanilla. Iced coffee for me. Iced coffee with a turbo shot.
I'm drinking Dunkin'. I'm drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin' Coffee.
Welcome back to the MAAC Mutual Center. I'm here with Coach Mitch Bonagor. Mitch, what do you think about the pace?
I think the pace is good, Joe. We got to keep it in the 60s. That's where we're comfortable, and we got to keep running our sets and get good shots.
Did a great job last night, and wish you the best the rest of the way.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you, Joe. Welcome back once again here to the MAAC Mutual Center in Springfield. Look at the Loyola bench. The Greyhounds down by 5 despite being favored as the number 2 seed over Siena. Well, the MAAC men's and women's rowing championships are coming to Lake Mercer in West Windsor, New Jersey, April 28th. Go online for more information. And the MAAC men's and women's tennis championships will be held from April 28th to the 29th at Mercer County Park in West Windsor, New Jersey. Don't miss a minute of the action and come support your MAAC team. Shot clock down to 5. Wigna blocked. What a defensive play by Eric Etherly.
And look at him run the floor.
He beats everybody else back, but then missed the layup.
What a tremendous athlete, covering ground, but you got to finish that.
Etherly is a natural left-hander, and a lot of times, as the three-pointer is missed by Olsen, a lot of times left-handers have an inherent advantage on both ends of the floor, right, Rob?
Yeah, keep guys off balance, especially when you're guarding lefties, because you're so used to challenging guys that shoot it with their right hand. And with his athleticism and length, you know, we always talk about how long guys are. He's so bouncy as well as being long. That's why he's able to challenge so many shots. That play he just made going end-to-end, not a lot of guys in this league can do that.
No, and the block shot on the fly with his natural left hand, perfect, where he got up to block a shot that not many other folks in the league could have. Dylan Cormier gives to Walker, who sees a lot of gold jerseys in front of him. They work it around instead to Etherly.
And that's the way they've shared the ball all season long. And when they've got multiple guys scoring in double figures like they did last night against Niagara, 20-3 on the season when 3 or more guys score it in double figures. Thing about this Loyola pressure defense, Doug, it's usually one trap and then back, much like Gary Williams' teams did at Maryland. And so if you can get the ball out of that initial trap, you don't usually see the second.
Hines slammed on the brakes, and Asicki able to back tap. And Asicki missed the rim on it. Williams able to save for Loyola. He's got it back. Here comes the Preston point guard from Baltimore. Bad pass, though. Nobody could have handled that one, certainly not Etherly.
A good idea, but he tried to take it right off the dribble. You got to make sure that you don't put it too far ahead. Williams only played 13 minutes yesterday. Jimmy Patso said wasn't as good a matchup for him against the bigger guards from Manhattan. Thought he'd play a lot more today with the matchup against Hines.
And a couple of 5'8" point guards. And there is that matchup as Williams goes out to greet Hines. Asicki getting a break on the Siena bench. Ron Poole back in, playing on the wing. Shot clock down under 10. Hines again with a deep 3. Nobody stopped him.
And Olsen with that size at 6'6", when he turns the corner, it's easy for him to finish at the rim.
Well, if indeed Siena is going to be slowed by fatigue, how will some of that manifest itself that we will see out here, Rob?
Well, you see it in the second half, especially late in the second half, where all of a sudden you start becoming short on a jump shot, or maybe you don't have enough energy to block out and secure a rebound. You're not going to see it early here in the ball game. It's going to come into play even more so late.
Walters trying to carve out some space, and he's whistled for the over-the-back foul. Jimmy Patsos's club has responded with 6 straight points to cut it back to a 1-point ball game. Robert Olsen went end-to-end. Big burst of speed for the junior from Silver Spring, Maryland.
It's knowing that you will always compete against the best, while making you become the best that you can be. It's about joining a family with a storied history, where athletics and academics are held to the highest of standards. It's about creating the future leaders of tomorrow, all with a focus on one goal: graduation. It's the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.
I am Siena.
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 Siena College offers an exceptional private education with a unique foundation of liberal arts, career preparation, and Franciscan values.
That's the worst half of football I've ever seen. Are you telling me we can't do this?
I got this, Coach.
You know, people said, Pepsi Max? You can't get maximum Pepsi taste with 0 calories.
Who said that?
But Pepsi Max didn't listen.
We just delivered it. So get out there and taste that sweet 0-calorie victory.
The little guy's right.
Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Do you validate parking?
Welcome back to the Mass Mutual Center here in Springfield, Massachusetts. Siena's lead has been cut to 1. The Saints had a big burst of energy early, led by as many as 8, but the Greyhounds right back at it. MAAC fans, make sure to head to the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame to see the MAAC exhibit. The MAAC Experience displays all 10 MAAC institutions and highlights of their basketball performances over the years. And there is history there at the Hall of Fame that also predates the 31 years of the MAAC. You can get some of the great players in Niagara history who are in the Hall of Fame. And some of the other greats. You said Rick Smits was in town a couple of days ago, former Marist star. And he played for the Red Foxes before the school joined the MAAC. Nice move by Winbush. And Loyola is back on top, 17-16.
Winbush in the regular season finale had a season-high 12 points, 8 boards, had a good game again last night. And Jimmy Patso said that he was going to continue to give him good minutes because he keeps giving him good energy.
Brandon Walters working hard to snap an 8-0 Loyola run.
And he's playing with great confidence, demanding the basketball in the low post. He didn't know any better, and he just showed up to watch the first time. You would think he was Anisicki and vice versa, the way that Walters has been demanding the basketball posting up.
Well, last night, 19 points, 9 rebounds, 5 block shots for Walters. Justin Drummond with his first 3 points. And so we're back on the seesaw. The Greyhounds retake the lead. Nice curl for Downey. Too high off the window, though, pulled down by Latham.
Yeah, good read as he saw the defender Olsen was trailing. That's when he curled it.
Drummond steps back and hits off the window.
One thing about Drummond, he can get himself on a bit of a roll. And he ended up winning the 6th Man of the Year award. And we were talking to him at the award ceremony. He said, well, my coach lets me shoot all the time. And he said, no, I don't let you shoot all the time. You think sometimes you're allowed to shoot, but he's a guy that comes in and gives them instant offense.
Well, he's the 5th guy in the 8-year tenure of Jimmy Patsos from Loyola to win 6th Man of the Year. Anisicki couldn't score with Latham all over him, and then the foul is picked up. Anisicki with the personal.
And that's not where you want to give up a foul if you're Odi Anisicki. Too valuable to this team. He had to sit down in the first half of their quarterfinal win against Manhattan for Mitch Bonagura's team when he picked up his 3rd foul. When that 3rd foul was a technical foul as he and Sommerfeld got tangled up.
Siena basketball. Latham was the last to touch. Well, these Greyhounds put on a shooting display last night. They shot 63%, and in the second half, Loyola shot 69% to beat Niagara by 13.
And a big part of that in the second half was the fact that they went 5 of 7 from beyond the 3-point line after missing all 3 of their 3-point attempts in the first half.
Walters facing up on Winbush. Playing catch there with the other Siena big. It's Anisicki for 2.
And the double post of Siena can give you problems with the size on both blocks. Even on the miss by Walters, Anisicki on the opposite block to finish with the offensive rebound.
Well, they're both 6'8". Anisicki a little bigger than Walters, who actually dropped weight in the offseason. It was good weight to lose. Olsen gets the roll.
Yeah, tough finish. Going hard to his right, coming across his body. If you think about it, Doug, a lot of teams in the MAAC don't have 1 post, let alone 2. So clearly the Twin Towers, something that you don't see a whole lot in this league.
Poole dribbled himself into trouble. Still fighting for the ball. Nice move by Brian O'Connell to leap Robert Olsen.
Yeah, showing you his athletic ability. Ball will stay with Siena when we come back as they have the possession arrow in their favor. And right now down by 4 here in Springfield.
Welcome back to the MAAC Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max. Our second semifinal has Loyola on top of Siena by 4. And after a sluggish stretch, the Greyhounds have picked it up on the offensive end.
Yeah, they were stuck in the mud a little bit in the beginning of the ball game, but since then their offense has picked up with the instant offense off the bench. And the sixth man of the year in the MAAC, Justin Drummond, doing what he does best. And when he gives him that scoring punch, then now all of a sudden it opens up some opportunities for his teammates, including the tough finish there by Olsen.
As we come back to live action, Evan Himes steps into another deep three, and this time he knocks it down.
But he's got that type of range. They list him at 5'8", probably a little smaller than that. And when you're that small, you got to be able to get yourself some separation from the defense with the range, and he's got it.
Etherly, right to the rim.
Yeah, as soon as he caught it, turned and went right at the rim.
Himes goes away from the screen, right to the rim, and he's met there by Drummond.
Yeah, nice rotation defensively to come up with the block, but then they give it right back with the turnover.
And so Williams will be taken out, replaced by Cormier. Evan Himes, 5'8" freshman from Durham, North Carolina. Actually lived for several years as a kid in the capital region, not too far from the Siena campus when his dad was working in the area. Etherly with a big block shot. Shot clock stands at 16. Himes. Yeah, that knee certainly seems to be okay. He changes direction as quickly as anybody.
Yeah, cutting right there on a dime. One thing that Siena has done a great job of, and Mitch said coming in, that they needed to make it a half-court game. It has been a half-court game. Not a lot of flow to it. That's the way the Siena's got to play it if they're going to advance to the championship.
Well, Siena had an early 11-0 run, but since then it's been the Greyhounds. Walker off the alley-oop.
On the backside of the zone defense, everybody got themselves looking at the basketball. You turn your head, able to sneak behind with a nice alley-oop.
7 points now for the 6'10" senior from England. Downing, short on the three. Walker clears the glass.
And if you want to run, you got to rebound. Nothing there. Smart play to bring it out. But they've got to rebound and try to create some more pace. Think about the second half of our last ball game where Iona wasn't able to get out and run. When your team is built on transition, you got to force it sometimes.
Walker went over the back. That is his second personal foul. And so Latham off the bench to come back in, replacing Walker.
Good substitution. No need to chance it here with just 1:15 left to go in the first half.
Brandon Walters out for Siena with Rob Poole back in. Zone Wignot. Poole gets off the shot against the tough defense by Drummond.
And he had no lift right there.
Quarterfinal win, Loyola relied heavily on Cormier and Etherly again, as they have done so many times this year. Traveling violation. Cormier went for 23 to help beat Niagara. Etherly added 21. And again, as a team, they shot 63%. Jay Williams back in. Drummond goes out.
And in that game, as it has been the case all season long, it was runs as they were able to string together a 9-0 run and a 7-0 run late in the second half to get the win. When they had the comeback win against Siena the last time these two teams met, it was a 22-2 run for Jimmy Patzos' team that got them the come-from-behind win. There haven't been runs so far this year because it's been start and stop. And that's how Siena's got to play this ball game. Not allow it to become a full-court game, hang around as long as they can, and then make some big, timely shots late.
Siena hoping to hold for a final shot, under 20 seconds remaining now. There goes Hines, under 10 seconds on the clock. It's bounced past Lowe to handle, and Anasicki lost it out of bounds. Siena has missed 8 of its last 10 shot attempts as they have gone stone cold down the stretch here in the half. Final 3 and 2 seconds. Cormier with 1. Gives it to Windbush, or rather Etherly, who short-armed it and didn't get it up on the rim.
Didn't realize he had enough time to take a regular shot. Instead, the quick shot doesn't fall.
Mitch Bonaguro and the Siena Saints, despite having scored 11 straight points early, head to the locker room trailing by 5. 28-23, the winner of this one goes on to the MAAC championship game to take on Fairfield tomorrow night. We'll be back with a MAAC halftime report right after this. Welcome back, everybody, to Springfield Mass. 28-23 our halftime score. Loyola with the lead over the Siena Saints. Here at the Mass Mutual Center, Doug Sherman along with Rob Kennedy. Score favors Loyola. Does the pace favor Siena?
Absolutely. Siena did their job of keeping this game as a half-court game, and a game that never got itself a rhythm and never allowed Loyola to take advantage of their fresh legs and athleticism in the open floor.
Okay, let's go inside the play. Coach Kennedy, what are we looking at here?
Well, if you want to get good shots against the zone, you got to move the ball and you got to move the zone. Let's play it through here on this very good offensive possession. If you just make one pass and don't cut through, the zone's able to stand there. The cutter takes Wignot through, and right here, freeze it. After you move the zone, now all of a sudden people forget about Walker. Let it play. Terrific feed right here from Olsen. And there's Walker able to finish off the alley-oop. You see the end of the play, and that's what everybody focuses on. But it's the play before you got to the alley-oop that's important, by making the zone move and by getting the ball movement as well as player movement.
Good stuff, Rob. We'll take a break and come back with more of our halftime report. Loyola 28, Siena 23 in semifinal number 2 of the MAAC tournament.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying?
0!
How much Pepsi taste?
A lot!
Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
I am very much a mama's boy. I love her to death. And it was just, I mean, it's going to be hard. I know I'm going to miss home a little bit. My life's goal has always been to be a surgeon. I found out that Niagara has a great science department, so I was like, hey, I like this. I went a school that's a little bit more hands-on experience, one-on-one with the teachers, because I think you learn better that way. I do want to do research, especially on cancer. My mom had it, so, I mean, it's just something I'm definitely very passionate about. I only applied at Niagara because I knew this was the place I needed to go.
When every moment matters and a hand reaches out, when someone gives blood and a life is saved, that moment when heartbreak turns to hope, you're there through the American Red Cross. Every day, the Red Cross responds to nearly 200 neighborhood emergencies, and your support makes it possible. Use this moment to join us today. Visit redcross.org.
Your dream college should have it all, promising not just a degree, but an inspired direction for life's journey. An intimate college with a global alumni network, a residential campus experience, a subway ride from the capital of culture and opportunity, where you can pursue your dreams and change the world. Manhattan College has been delivering on this dream for over 150 years. Go to manhattan.edu and discover what a LaSallian Catholic college education can promise your future. Manhattan College, dreams delivered.
Welcome back to Springfield, Massachusetts, the home of the MAAC championships for the next 3 years. And as a tip-off for this tournament, this past Thursday, the league announced its award winners for 2012. And let's take a recap for you right now.
Eric Etherly, Loyola, a junior forward from Alexandria, Virginia. Etherly is 4th in the conference in several categories, including rebounding with 7.7 boards tonight, and in field goal percentage, shooting 53.2% from the floor. He also leads the team in scoring with 13.1 points per game, good for 16th place on the MAAC scoring chart. A 2-time MAAC Player of the Week, Etherly has netted double-digit points in 20 contests for the Greyhounds and recorded 8 double-doubles this season. Rakim Sanders, Fairfield, a senior forward from Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Sanders finished the regular season ranked 4th in the MAAC in scoring with 16.7 points per game and 3rd in rebounding with 8.2 caroms an outing for the Stags. Named MAAC Player of the Week on December 5th, he has scored double-digit points in 27 games and recorded 8 double-doubles this year. Mike Glover, Iona, a senior forward from the Bronx, New York. Glover is 2nd on the MAAC scoring chart with 18.1 points per game. He is also 2nd in the nation in field goal percentage, netting 64.7% of his attempts from the field. A 3-time MAAC Player of the Week, Glover has tallied 13 double-doubles and posted double figures in 29 games played this season. George Beeman, Manhattan, a junior guard forward from Roslyn, New York. Beeman is the MAAC scoring leader with 18.4 points per game. He is also 7th in the league in free throw percentage, connecting on 80% of his attempts from the charity stripe. Beeman scored double-digit points in all 28 games this year, including a season-high 33 points at Canisius. O.D. Anasicki, Siena, a junior forward from Staten Island, New York. Anna Sicki leads the nation in 2 categories, rebounding with 12.9 boards per game and double-doubles with 22 during the regular season. A 2-time MAAC Player of the Week this year, Anna Sicki closed out the regular season ranked 6th in the league in scoring, 5th in field goal percentage, and 9th in blocks. And now, the MAAC Pepsi Max Men's Player of the Year, Scott Machado. Iona, a finalist for the Bob Cousy Collegiate Point Guard of the Year Award, Machado leads the nation in assists with 10.1 a night for the Gales. In addition, he has added 13.1 points and 5 rebounds per game for the Maroon and Gold this season. During his senior campaign, Machado is shooting 47.7% from the field, 40.2% from three-point range, and 80.5% from the free throw line.
Congratulations to Iona's Scott Machado and to all of the first-teamers that we just saw there. We're at the half. In our second semifinal, Loyola on top of Siena by 5.
College isn't something to do just because you think you should. It's a journey of discovery. A balance of learning, doing, and practicing, inspired by strong values. College is your chance to translate ambition into opportunity. Begin your journey of discovery. St. Peter's College, spc.edu. Spring Open House Saturday, April 21st at 10 a.m.
The New Era Buffalo flagship store features exclusive, limited edition product that can't be found anywhere else. Choose from hundreds of cap styles, including the iconic 5950 fitted, 3930 stretch fit, and the newest 950 snapback. Add to the mix New Era apparel, and you have way more than a store that just sells caps. You have a destination for a complete look. Stop by and visit us at 160 Delaware Avenue for your Sabres gear and more. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m.
Canisius College is committed to academic and athletic excellence. The Jesuit tradition prepares students for a lifetime of service. From the classroom to hands-on experience, Canisius students are ready to succeed. Canisius College, where leaders are made.
Welcome to the edge. For the glory of the Division I MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center in Springfield. Action guaranteed to have you on the edge of your seat.
All the way with the slam dunk.
The way to the NCAA, the MAAC Championship. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center. Grab your tickets at Ticketmaster.com, MAACachusets.com, or at the Mass Mutual Center box office.
Welcome back to Massachusetts. We're here in Springfield, where Loyola has a 5-point lead over Siena at the intermission of our second semifinal. First game here today went to the underdog. 4th-seeded Fairfield rallied to beat Iona 85-75, and so the top-seeded Gales are out. And if they are to make it to the NCAA tournament, they'll have to do it as an at-large invite. We'll find that out in the coming days. And so Fairfield awaits the winner of this one, Loyola and Siena, at the break, with our score 28-23. Hey, MAAC fans, Loyola University Maryland is playing in the Hall of Fame tip-off tournament at Mohegan Sun Arena next season. At the same time, the Marist Red Foxes will participate in the Old Spice Classic at the HP Fieldhouse in Orlando, Florida. You can make your travel arrangements now, and for more information, go to halloffametipoff.com for the Loyola trip, and for the Marist trip to Florida, go to oldspiceclassic.com. Take one more break and come back with the start of the second half. The Greyhounds up by 5. welcome back to the MAAC Men's Basketball Championship presented by Pepsi Max here at the Mass Mutual Center in Springfield, Massachusetts. Our score 28-23 with the start of the second half just seconds away. And welcome back, everybody. Doug Sherman along with Rob Kennedy, and Loyola able to do enough. They sustained an 11-0 Siena run, but thanks to Eric Etherly and company, they were able to take that lead.
Well, we said they needed to try and put the basketball in his hands in the paint, and for good reason. He's so quick and athletic inside, it's hard to get a double to him. Etherly able to get himself into the middle of the lane or on the quick catch and spin, able to finish right at the rim. As well, it wasn't just Etherly that was able to score the ball inside. Nice play over top of the zone defense as Walker's able to go get the nice feed from Olsen. But it wasn't just points in the paint for Loyola. It was also Siena that got a lot done inside the Twin Towers. Odiana Sicki doing a good job finding opportunities, not just on the initial post feed, but as well on the offensive glass. The nation's leading rebounder able to finish that. And this is a big play right here. Why? Because it's the only fast break basket for either team in the first half. Oh, and Wignot with the dunk out on the break, but that is a key because this game did not get up and down the way that Loyola would have wanted.
Not at all. Our first half stats brought to you by Geico. Siena 10 of 29 from the floor, Loyola 13 of 27. Only 3 turnovers for the Saints, but they've got to be able to generate more offense to try and stay with this Loyola team that can put up a lot of points. There you see Siena started off so hot. Took that 8-point lead, but they have certainly cooled off since as we get the second half underway here in Springfield. Olsen feeds the post to Etherly. And the rim's out. Owen Wignot with a rebound. Loyola has Williams, Cormier, Walker, Olsen, and Etherly on the floor to start this second half. Kyle Downey for Siena off the glass, a little short. He along with Anasicki, Walters, Wignot, and Poole starting here in the second half for Siena.
And Etherly inside with Walters on his back twice on a possession so far. They didn't find him. Finally do.
Wignot tries to keep with Olsen, can't do it, and Olsen makes him pay.
Comes off the high ball screen, takes the extra dribble to get some separation. Nice pull up in the lane.
6 points now for Olsen, the 6'6" junior. Anasicki posting on Walker. Wignot gives it back to Anasicki. And a foul on Etherly. Let's take a look at our Blue Rock Energy one-on-one update.
Well, they were just playing one-on-one in the post on that possession. And about Obi Anasicki as well as Eric Etherly. 2 guys that were teammates as far as the all-conference team is concerned. Relatively quiet first half for both guys. Not huge numbers that we saw out of them throughout the season.
This is Siena's second trip, only its second trip to the free throw line so far here today. Downey hit 1 out of 2 in the first half. Anasicki with a pair here to begin the second half. Pass got away from Walker. Downey being hounded by Cormier.
Anasicki and Walker really fighting for position in the low post.
And Loyola defense really making it tough on the Saints. Downey thought the shot clock was about to expire, so just fired it up and it went in.
Yeah, just put it on the board and gave it a chance.
7 points for the senior from Fairport, New York. Efterly off the feed from Williams.
Yeah, pretty find and feed by Williams.
Former Northeastern Husky now with 8 points.
We talk about all the transfers in the league. Efterly has had as big an impact as any of those transfers. And unlike guys like Rakim Sanders, who had a terrific career at Boston College before transferring, Efterly really didn't do anything when he was at Northeastern. Averaged just 1 point per game for the Huskies. And he has been a great find for Jimmy Patsos.
Second foul on Brandon Walters.
R.J. Williams is a pass-first point guard. See Etherly sneaking behind the zone defense. Nobody there, and that's as easy at 2 points as you're going to see in a ball game.
And by the time Walters recognized, it was too late. Drummond for 3. Here comes Kyle Downing. A rare transition opportunity for the Saints. And a chance for 3.
Oh, Downey with the Euro step out on the break. Able to get by the defender and fight through contact. Coming right at you here. The little step across. And you see the upper body strength of Kyle Downey. And I talked about whether or not we thought they'd have enough gas in the tank. The one guy you and I both agreed would certainly have that is Kyle Downey.
No question about it. He is pound for pound the strongest guy on this Siena team. Says he spent a lot of time lately reflecting about his father, who was his coach. He died when Kyle was 13. And continues to be an instrumental part of his life as Kyle gets ready to graduate from Siena. Saints now down by 3. Olsen makes it 6 again.
And that was well beyond the three-point line. Olsen, the best three-point shooter for the Greyhounds at 44% on the season. Second best in the MAAC. Only to Sean Armand.
Robbie Poole. Walters working the offensive glass.
And just pounding his way in. Playing with great confidence and energy inside.
And again, 19 points, 9 boards, 5 blocks in Siena's quarterfinal win that didn't end until after 12:30 this morning. Cormier, as the Greyhounds successfully go inside and out.
And that's what they did in the second half against Niagara last night. Remember, they didn't hit a 3 in the first half against Niagara. Matter of fact, they had a stretch of 70 minutes of play without a 3. Because in their previous game against Manhattan, they laid a goose egg from beyond the arc.
Walters finishing with the left hand.
You know, it's amazing. You and I have talked about it a couple of times throughout the year, how he worked on his body in the offseason. Had he not gotten himself in that type of shape, there would have been no way that he would have been able to play these extra minutes. Remember, this is a guy who coming into the season figured out, if I get 10 minutes a game, I'm going to be lucky. Now he's got to play 30, 35 minutes a game.
Walker, as the Greyhounds continue to knock down the threes, and Jimmy Patsos calls timeout. He does make a point, doesn't he?
Yes, pointing with 2 fingers right there. He didn't like what happened at the defensive end. We talked about creating some chaos. Here's the long 3 by Olsen. That's got the Greyhounds out to the 8-point lead.
Hey, what are you drinking?
Dunkin' Ice.
The biggest iced coffee I can get.
Iced coffee helps me keep up.
I love iced coffee.
Drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'.
Dunkin'
Iced coffee.
I run on Dunkin' Iced Coffee.
America runs on Dunkin' Coffee.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying? 0! How much Pepsi taste? Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
drinking Dunkin'. Coffee. Black, straight up.
Extra cream, 3 sugars.
French vanilla. Iced coffee for me.
Iced coffee with a turbo shot.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
I'm drinking Dunkin'.
Drinking Dunkin'. America runs on Dunkin' coffee.
The Loyola Greyhounds have the lead to 8 thanks to some superior shooting from the perimeter. And it's not just been one guy, it's been multiple guys.
And when you can spread different guys from beyond the three-point line, it makes it harder for guys to get out and challenge behind the arc. You said Loyola, a team that doesn't take a ton of three-point shots for Jimmy Patsos, but they've been real effective here in the second half.
Well, as a team, they are 5 of 9 from beyond the arc. Walker has hit a couple, Drummond has hit one, and Olsen has one. Hines guarded by the 6th man of the year in the MAAC, Justin Drummond. Downey, wild left-handed shot. Timeout on the floor. We'll take another break as we step away from the Mass Mutual Center.
The New Era Buffalo flagship store features exclusive, limited edition product that can't be found anywhere else. Choose from hundreds of cap styles, including the iconic 5950 fitted, 3930 stretch fit, and the newest 950 snapback. Add to the mix New Era apparel, and you have way more than a store that just sells caps. You have a destination for a complete look. Stop by and visit us at 160 Delaware Avenue for your Sabres gear and more. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m.
The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference has provided thrills and excitement to college basketball fans for over 30 years. Now you can get an inside look at the league schools and its student athletes by visiting the MAAC Experience at the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield, Massachusetts. Check out the MAAC's rich history and be sure to take in the featured video, A Day in the Life of a MAAC Student Athlete. Don't miss the MAAC Experience at the Basketball Hall of Fame. For more information, visit hoophall.com.
Welcome back to the birthplace of basketball, Springfield, Massachusetts. And Loyola's three-point prowess has the lead up to 8 over Siena.
Well, when the game was invented, the three-point shot wasn't part of it, but it's been a big part of what Loyola's been able to do here in the second half. 3 of 4 from beyond the three-point line, and 3 different guys that have gotten into the act, including the big guys. Shane Walker at 6'10", able to stretch out from beyond the three-point line.
Walker, the former Maryland Terrapin, with 10 points to lead all scorers. Olsen's got 9, and for Siena, Downey has 9. Walters has 8. There's Downey, has it taken away by Drummond, who tried to save it, but could not. Shot clock stands at 8, and Siena will inbound along the baseline. Downey threw it away.
One of the few times that the Saints have turned the basketball over, just their 5th turnover on the ball game.
But that perimeter Loyola defense does make it tough on Siena. They've been able to get after Downey pretty well.
And they used to always force the turnovers with their full court pressure. This is a different Loyola team. They don't press as much as they have in years past, but they certainly are much better in a half-court man-to-man defense than teams of the past.
Olsen. And that's another 3.
Yeah, set play on the screen by the big guy Walker to allow Olsen to knock down the 3. 6th all-time already, just as a junior in Loyola history with over 135 threes.
And a second consecutive turnover. This time it's Hines who threw the ball out of bounds.
Here's where, again, you start worrying about the fatigue. Not only the fact that they play the 6 players, but being forced into overtime in the quarterfinal game against Manhattan, it finishing up so late. Here's where you really got to fight fatigue. Dig deep. You got to get some stops to get yourself back in the ball game if you're Siena.
Drummond. And Hines, rather than looking to run the break, slows it down. Mitch Bonaguro urging his team to move, move, move. Wignott from the corner. That's a 2-point shot for the senior from Wilkes-Barre. And a timeout called by Coach Bonaguro.
Even after he knocks down the shot, you can see he's exhausted, as are his teammates. I think that's a terrific timeout from Mitch in that situation. Using timeouts to try and help get his team some rest.
MAAC fans, the MAAC is on Facebook. Make sure to like the MAAC today. Did you ever have a coach during your playing days, either in high school in Jersey or at Columbia University, anything near like what we see from Jimmy Patsos?
My freshman year at Columbia, I played for a guy, Buddy Marr. He was a terrific coach and a personality, much like Jimmy's. And he would get after you every once in a while. Yeah. Not quite as big and maybe not as funny at times. Oh, no, he was as funny at times. Buddy Marr would be the one guy that was as close to Jimmy Patsos as I ever played for.
And, you know, in Mitch Bonaguro's younger days, he was as demonstrative as any coach you'll ever see. Back in the 80s at Fairfield, he has quite a reputation.
Yeah, one time a little too demonstrative as they had a win against St. Peter's in the MAAC tournament that became a loss as they got a technical coming on. But, yeah, certainly Mitch is a guy that you know where he stands. And much like Jimmy, he wears his emotions on his sleeve, although a little bit more in check as he's matured.
And both of them very good guys. Chance for 3 for Etherly.
How about the individual effort by Etherly? We're just talking about how you got to figure the fatigue starting to come into play for the Saints. So if you're Loyola, you got to make sure that you take full advantage of that. Etherly, not once, not twice, but 3 different times, able to finally get the finish.
Second foul on Odi Anasicki. As Etherly completes the 3-point play, and the lead has stretched to 12. Siena will keep possession.
And I like the way that Loyola's sensing now all of a sudden that Siena is a little tired and a little sluggish, that they're trying to force their will of getting this game up and down in the full court pressure.
Poole has to burn a timeout. That leaves Siena with only 2 remaining. Now the winner of this ball game has Fairfield waiting for it in tomorrow night's MAAC championship, scheduled for a 7 o'clock tip-off here at the Mass Mutual Center. And this is the first of a 3-year contract signed by the MAAC with the city of Springfield and with this arena. And they're already starting to plan for next year. 2013 MAAC Basketball Championships return to the Mass Mutual Center here in Springfield from March 7th through the 11th. And you can log on right now to Massachusetts.com for more information. And so far, I mean, you've been here for what, 4 or 5 days now. We had the mayor of Springfield out at halftime during our first game, and it certainly seems like it's been a terrific atmosphere here at this neutral site without any true home fans to be able to come to the game. Downey with the bucket.
Yeah, big finish right there for Siena. They've got to figure out how they can get themselves to about that 6-7 minute mark, Doug, with an opportunity to maybe throw in some threes and get themselves a win. Right now you can just get the sense they're hanging on for dear life.
Olsen in traffic. Somehow the ball comes to Etherly, who had it taken away by Anasicki. Wignott backdoor to Poole. Left his feet. Got it to Anasicki, and he laid it in.
Anasicki created some space as he was able to shed the defender. Looked like Poole was in trouble, but Anasicki helped bail him out.
8 points, 4 rebounds for Anasicki. Under 12 minutes remaining in regulation. The lob that time much better defended by the zone.
Yeah, back-to-back turnovers as Loyola forced it each of the last 2 times.
Now a little more energy for the guys in gold, and Anasicki will shoot 2.
That was an important burst of energy from the Saints here in the last couple of minutes.
Still though, Jimmy Patsos and the Loyola Greyhounds with an 8-point lead with 11:43 on the clock.
It's the playoffs. We haven't served a single calorie all season, and we're not serving one now. If you can't handle it, go sell foam fingers in the parking lot. How many calories are you carrying? 0! How much Pepsi taste? Now get out there and make me proud.
Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
You can't predict the future, but with the right education, you can be prepared. When you evolve as a person, develop mind, body, and spirit, adopt new perspectives, and adapt to your surroundings, strong truths will follow. Truths that will guide you for the rest of your life. Loyola University, Maryland. Strong truths, well lived.
When every moment matters and a hand reaches out. When someone gives blood and a life is saved. That moment when heartbreak turns to hope. You're there through the American Red Cross. Every day, the Red Cross responds to nearly 200 neighborhood emergencies. And your support makes it possible. Use this moment to join us today. Visit redcross.org.
Welcome back to Springfield, Mass. Siena down by 8. We get the thoughts now of Loyola head coach Jimmy Patsos, along with our Joe Boylan.
Coach Patsos, how has your pressure, both half court and full court, affected this game?
You know, on Gary Williams' birthday today, Joe, I figured we'd press after makes. I think they haven't turned it over, which I'm disappointed in, but we're hopefully wearing them out for down the stretch. Mitch has done a great job with just 6 guys, and Downey's making shots, but I'm trying to get it, Joe. We're down the road, down the last 12 minutes, it'll be in our favor.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck the rest of the way.
Joe. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Joe. And in spite of that pressure, Siena has only turned the ball over 6 times, Rob.
And that's been a huge key, but as Jimmy said, even if they don't create turnovers, just trying to wear them down as the game wears on.
The MAAC and Rider University hosts the 2012 NCAA Rowing Championships at Lake Mercer in West Windsor, New Jersey from May 25th through the 27th. For more information, you can visit ncaa.com/sports/rowing. I'm glad to hear that it's Gary Williams' birthday. Former Maryland Terrapin, who was the boss of Jimmy Patsos for 13 years. Patsos was on the Terrapin staff for that long. And they still remain very close. We saw Gary Williams attending a Loyola game in Baltimore a few weeks back. By the way, that foul that sent Anasicki to the line was on Walker, and so he's got 3. He remains on the floor along with Etherly, Olsen, Williams, and Justin Drummond, who's got the basketball now. Ten on the shot clock. Walker rises up, left it short, and there's Olsen with the offensive rebound.
Oh, great hustle and effort by Olsen to keep the possession alive. Again, red hot. 7 of 10 from the floor here in this second half. Etherly again had Brandon Walters on his back. Walters pushing and pushing too hard.
And so number 0 picks up his 3rd personal foul.
You could see that one coming, Doug. Those guys were banging, and Walters trying to push him off his spot.
Williams out. Cormier in, who has the ball now. Olsen off the nice set. This time he couldn't connect. Out of bounds, back to Siena. And off of the missed basket and out of bounds. Full court pressure by Loyola.
And as has been the case all game long, if you get it out of the first track, they're going to fall back into the man-to-man.
Anasicki and Walker also getting physical down low at both ends. Backdoor pass to Downey. But there's Walker to deny. Etherly draws a double team for a moment. He kicks it back out. Walker misses, and Siena gets the ball back, down by 7 midway through the second half of our second MAAC semifinal. Anasicki couldn't get it to fall, and Etherly is there again for the rebound.
And he couldn't get it to fall because of the terrific post defense by Shane Walker. Walker's got the size at 6'10", long arms, just held his ground and forced Anasicki to try to finish over top.
Walker from 15.
Well, he had a couple of 15-footers from the foul line. He missed those two, but gets that one to fall. He's got that face-up ability. Good shooter that can even stretch out to the three-point line.
And he's got a dozen. Good balance for Loyola. Walker and Olsen both with 12. Etherly has 11. Poole lost his balance. And they say a foul on Drummond.
If you're going to find open looks against the defense, you got to get ball movement as well as player movement. Take a look at Shane Walker here, moving without the basketball, starts high. He's going to flash all the way along the baseline, find himself wide open. And against the zone defense, Doug, if you move along the baseline and get behind the zone defense, you're able to see where those open spots are. Most of the time, the zone is focused on the basketball.
And here in this tournament this weekend, we've seen Fairfield's Rakim Sanders do a lot of that. He and the Stags are in the championship game after upsetting Iona earlier today in the semis. Downey with the layup. As Coach Patso said, Downey continues to find his way to the basket and score.
And he's one of those guys that just isn't going to be denied. You know, he's going to keep fighting right to the very end.
13 points for Downey, the only double-figure score for the Saints. Nice find for Etherly, but he missed the shot. He got a whistle and a foul that goes against the Saints.
Little late, but a good call by Gary Prager as the defender was backing in and got Etherly off balance.
Foul on O.D. Anasicki, his third. And so there is Eric Etherly, the junior from Alexandria, Virginia. Out of Annandale High School, and he's the one who went away up to Boston to begin his college career at Northeastern and then transferred after a year to come back closer to home to Baltimore, Maryland and Loyola University. Anthony Winbush comes in to replace Olsen. And the first team all-league forward makes the free throw that makes the score 51-42.
And the luxury that Jimmy Patsos has, he's got a bench that goes at least 8 deep, so he's been able to run guys in, get them a rest. Mitch Bonagura doesn't have that same luxury.
Wignot left it short, and Latham pulls down the rebound. Etherly triple team, still with possession. Under 8 minutes now in the second half. Loyola with a 9-point lead and possession of the basketball. Etherly from downtown.
And some surprise in your voice, and why not? He had just 2 threes on the season coming in, so he's not the guy that you expect to try and extend the defense from beyond the three-point line.
Yeah, 2 out of 9 on the year until that three-pointer. And Etherly is certainly showing his versatility here this weekend.
Well, the shot clock was winding down. You see it's in single digits. He lets it go with about 5 on the shot clock. Looks good as it's going in. Yep, it is a three-point shot. Or either he was just signaling, that's my 3rd of the year. One of the two, right? If you knock down 33s, then go ahead and give me those whatever that thing is. But if you make 3 in this season, just make it and go on.
Yeah, I have no idea what they're doing out there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, there you see, Siena has yet to even attempt a three-point shot here in the second half, while Loyola, that kind of goes against their form, not only taking threes, but making threes. I mean, if you look at the scouting report, if you're the Siena defense, really Olsen is the only guy who you game plan for in terms of three-point shooting, but they've gotten other guys involved.
And 5 of 7 from beyond the 3 in the second half. That's exactly what they did yesterday in the quarterfinal win against Niagara.
Evan Himes gives to Rob Poole, and he shoots an air ball.
And that's where the fatigue starts becoming a factor. You come up short on a lot of those attempts.
Mitch Bonagiro Saints down by 12. The Loyola Greyhounds are just 7 minutes and 14 seconds away from reaching the MAAC Finals, on top by 12 over Siena. And the Greyhounds continue on their best ever Division I season at 22-8 overall. And to find the last 20-win season, you've got to go all the way back to the late 1940s.
And things were a little different, huh? Harry Truman was in office. NATO was just formed. My goodness gracious, the NBA was just formed. And that's the type of historic nature of this season for Jimmy Passos. Remember, this is a guy who took over for a team that had just 1 win before he got there.
Off the steal, Wignott scores, and the foul. And now the man who has helped to orchestrate Loyola getting back into it, the many faces and moods, Jimmy Passos.
As you said, he's a guy who wants to make a point. He's got energy. His team always feeds off of it. I'm not sure what his mood was right there after they just turned it over and then compounded it with the foul. But working the sidelines and working his magic here so far this season for the Greyhounds.
Meanwhile, a three-point play for Owen Wignott. He's got 12 points. Siena has it back down to single digits.
And they caught them off guard the last time with the half-court trap and nearly forced the second straight turnover.
Now, Mitch Bonagiro perhaps realizing that with under 7 minutes now, you can't just sit back. You've got to try and force some turnovers, take the ball away.
And the way his team's struggling offensively, if you can find some easy shots, you got to be able to do that as well. And they got an easy one off the turnover.
Clock under 10. Williams hits the little one-handed floater.
And that's the first field goal and points of the game for Williams. We said he is a pass-first point guard.
Himes has had a quiet game. He averages 13.6 per game. He's got just one made three-point shot. Wignot with his second straight field goal.
He's not been quiet. Again, it's been Wignot and Walters that have tried to shoulder the scoring load here today. They need some other guys to step up and give them a hand.
Now, 24 hours ago, Owen Wignot had not scored more than 12 points in a single game. Now he's done it twice. 14 so far today. And a career-high 22 late last night. Chance for three now. Justin Drummond, the sophomore from Bowie, Maryland.
He gets the opportunity to finish the three-point play because of the terrific feed from Etherly. One-handed. Basically just redirected the basketball into Drummond's hands as he was diving to the basket.
Third-team All-MAAC as named earlier this week. Downey calling for the ball. He's stuck and loses it out of bounds. And it's a turnover. The Greyhounds get it back.
Well, Downey thought he had a defender in the air in Olsen. Looked like he was going to try to lean in, see if he could get a whistle and get himself to the line. Instead, turned it over.
Siena trying to chase a little bit in the half court. And Loyola happy to work a little clock. Now that we're down to the 5-minute mark. Olsen after two-point shot. Downey with a rebound. Himes missed it to the left. And there wasn't a single gold shirt on the glass.
And Anasicki clearly looks gassed out there. Remember, coming into the game, his lowest rebound total on the season was 8. He's stuck on just 4 rebounds right now.
For the nation's leader in rebounds per game. Anasicki at 12.8 coming into the game. And like you say, Rob, he's got only 4. First foul on Himes and the 6th against Siena in the half.
And you see, there's the fatigue. Himes got his hands on his shorts. You can certainly expect it. And when you look around, just about every one of the Siena Saints, look at Anasicki right there again. Anytime you see guys with their hands pulling down on their shorts like that, they're gassed. Owen Wignot coming out for a short rest. It's hard enough if you're going to try to play a full season with a roster that's only really 6 deep. But to do it in a turnaround of back-to-back games, and a turnaround that is less than 24 hours, that may be asking too much.
This is the largest lead of the ball game for Loyola at 14.
They've struggled during the regular season with back-to-backs when they were Friday nights and Sunday afternoons. This one, much more difficult.
Foul before the shot. Olsen is the guilty party. And only the 6th team foul against the Greyhounds, so a non-shooting foul. Walker got a hand in the pass, and here come the Hounds. Williams back to Drummond, and he missed the layup. And Etherly gets mugged, and will shoot 2.
Well, Drummond got caught. He was thinking about dunking the basketball. Right there, you either got to go up strong with 2 hands, as Jimmy Patsos is saying, or you got to just put it against the glass. He got caught in between, went up to try and dunk it, and then said, whoops, I'm too deep. But his teammates, look at all those white jerseys running up the floor. Etherly, with his quickness and quick bounce. I mean, you talk about a guy who gets off the floor quickly to beat guys to loose balls off the offensive rebounds. Definitely as good as anybody you're going to see.
And almost quietly, Etherly again, just another ho-hum, 17 points, 6 rebounds. He gets his numbers, and he is a first-team all-leaguer for a reason. Under 4 minutes in regulation.
And Siena, they're going to have to hit some outside shots, you would think, to get themselves back into the ball game, unless they can get good looks in the paint.
Downey with a team-high 15 points.
Problem is, the Saints, one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country, not only by percentage, but by number of threes per game. If you're going to make up a 13-point deficit late in the ball game, it's going to be hard to do 2 at a time. And here's the dilemma for Mitch Bonagora. You don't want to have to come chase, but you're going to have to figure out a way to get some extra possessions.
With the shot clock winding down, it is a shot clock violation as the shot didn't hit the rim. Takes us to our under 4 media timeout. We'll step away. Jimmy Patsos and his Greyhounds up by 13 points.
Welcome to the end. For the glory of the Division I MAAC Men's and Women's Basketball Championships. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center in Springfield. Action guaranteed to have you on the edge of your seat.
All the way with the slam dunk.
The way to the NCAA, the MAAC Championship. March 1st through the 5th at Mass Mutual Center. Grab your tickets at Ticketmaster.com, MAACachusets.com, or at the Mass Mutual Center box office.
How did I get here? Dumb luck? Or good decisions? Ones I've made, ones we've all made. About marriage, children, money, about tomorrow. Here's to good decisions.
Who matters most to you says the most about you. Mass Mutual is owned by our policyholders, so they matter most to us. Mass Mutual. We'll help you get there.
That's the worst half of football I've ever seen. Are you telling me we can't do this?
I got this, Coach. You know, people said, Pepsi Max? You can't get maximum Pepsi taste with 0 calories.
Who said that?
But Pepsi Max didn't listen.
We just delivered it. So get out there and taste that sweet 0-calorie victory.
The little guy's right.
Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste.
Do you validate parking?
The Pepsi Max National MAAC Game of the Week is brought to you by Pepsi Max. 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Blue Rock Energy. Blue Rock Energy saves you money on electricity and natural gas. Blue Rock Energy, putting people in power. The American Red Cross, encouraging you to do something that means something. Anaconda Sports, home of the Rock, is proud to sponsor the MAAC. And by Dunkin' Donuts. What are you drinking? America runs on Dunkin'. Well, tomorrow at noon Eastern on ESPNU, you can watch Taryn Johnson and the Fairfield Stags take on Coryell Yard and the Marist Red Foxes for the MAAC Championship. The winner of this ball game moves on to the Women's NCAA Tournament.
And Marist almost not in that championship game to defend their MAAC championship, but a couple of big threes late in their semifinal win against Niagara by Yard got them to the championship game.
Wow, how about the quickness by Evan Himes? And where has that been? You know, that's been an element to the Siena offense that's been so crucial this year. We just haven't seen him driving the lane like that here today.
And looked good on the crossover again with that knee. Didn't look like it was a problem as he planted hard and got right by the defender.
I wonder if the fact that he missed practice for a week in terms of conditioning has been a bigger factor for him the last 2 days than the knee, because the knee certainly seems not to be a problem.
Yeah, and certainly, you know, it's different. Just take a look at Himes continuing to climb up on the Siena school record. 413 points. He's not going to catch Mike Paddock, but a tremendous year, especially when you think about the fact that he really wasn't in their plans that much coming into the season. Hakeem Brookins was going to be their starting point guard, and you figured as well that Devontae Beard The other freshman guard was going to be his backup. Himes was well down the depth chart. And where would they have been without the tremendous freshman season of Evan Himes?
Rakeem Brookins sits on the Siena bench right now in a suit, as does Trinity Burdine. Devontae Beard transferred from the school, so Himes has played that big role. Drummond with the layup.
And forced to try and make something happen with their defense. They have to spread the floor, and they just do not have the legs right now to cover that much ground.
Drummond is the fourth Greyhound to get to double figures. Downey fighting for it. Wignott has it. Himes to Anasicki. Timeout Siena.
And Mitch Bonagura forced to take his last timeout, trying to somehow extend the game and get his team some energy. Able to force another turnover. Nice dish off by Himes as Anasicki finishes right at the rim. And now without any more timeouts left, down by 12, forced to again pick up in the full court pressure and chase the Greyhounds.
Well, in a certain sense, I think that the Siena players and coaches, at least in the back of their minds, and certainly the fans who made the trip from Albany, viewed last night's win as their tournament victory. They won their championship by having an epic victory in overtime to get past the quarterfinal round. And, you know, in talking to longtime Siena Athletic Director John D'Argenio after the game, he's been there for 27 years. He said other than the 3 NCAA tournament wins against Stanford, Ohio State, and Vanderbilt, there's not been a better postseason Siena win in his tenure in more than quarter a century than last night's victory.
And Mitch was talking about the same thing. He said it was one of his most satisfying wins of his coaching career. This is a guy who won a national championship as an assistant coach for Rolly Massimino at Villanova, a guy that's won 2 MAAC championships to take Fairfield to the NCAA. He said, but with where this team was at, with all they had to fight through, with all the injuries, how resilient this team was, last night's win was really satisfying. And he was floating around after it. It might have been 1:15 in the morning, but he was floating around on cloud 9.
Yep. Well, this bunch that was picked 6th in the preseason coaches poll and finished 6th in the regular season standings really doesn't tell the story. Pressure broken, and Etherly missed the layup.
Great play, though, on the pass by Drummond to put it right where it needed to be.
Himes crosses over Williams. Like Etherly may have blocked it. And they say it's going the other way, Loyola basketball, much to the chagrin of the Siena fans.
But they give it right back, so maybe it was a little justice there. Maybe that was the Rally Nuns that got involved, knocking it out. They may have been around when the ball didn't go in last night, huh?
Yeah, the Rally Nuns you talk about are famous at the Times Union Center in Albany for a little divine intervention. While you and I last night wondered how on earth Kadani Brutus's shot didn't fall from Manhattan, I got an email earlier today from a woman named Patty Bailey saying it was the Rally Nuns. They were together, and they made sure that ball didn't fall. You're a product of the Catholic schools. You know how powerful that can be.
Don't mess with the nuns, I'll tell you that much.
Williams slams on the brakes, and then the foul committed by Downey.
And that's what you want from your point guard. The clock more important than points right now. Get it up so that you're away from the pressure, and then pull the basketball back out.
Williams will get the bonus. And now a chance if you're Jimmy Patsos to rest some of your key players like Eric Etherly with an eye towards tomorrow night's title game against Fairfield. Downey on the breakaway. And the senior throws it down.
Not sure why Loyola's up in the full court pressure there. You're up by 14. Just get yourself back. Don't allow them to score quickly. The press was a really important part of this ball game. As another turnover by Loyola. Here's where, if you're the Greyhounds, you want to finish the game off well. But the press has been a big factor here in the game, but you don't need it right now.
Well, our Pepsi Max player of the game is Eric Etherly, who's come back into the ball game, as has R.J. Williams. Wignot off the inbound for two. Both seniors who've been with the Siena program for 4 years, trying to somehow pull a rabbit out of the hat. But no, says Eric Etherly.
Well, again, they don't have the legs to go chase the ball all over the floor. If you spread it out, you're going to get good, easy baskets.
Final minute here in our second semifinal. Evan Himes, and he gets the roll on the runner.
Well, not surprising, this Siena Saints team not going to pack it in. They've been resilient all season long, and they're not going to stop now.
And let's show you what Eric Etherly has been up to again today, just like last night, bringing it in all sorts of forms and fashions.
Well, that's what makes him such a good player. Does a little bit of everything. Rebounds the basketball, shoots it at a high percentage, defensively challenges. But the thing that he does as well as anybody in this league, he just gets after it at the rim, even throwing in a three-point shot here this afternoon, even though that's not a big part of what he does. This is his athleticism, his quickness, and the energy that he brings. The Loyola is a team that built around hustle stats. Offensive rebounds, putbacks, points in transition. And he gets a lot of those. 19 points, 6 rebounds. Once again, he's our Pepsi Max player of the game.
You can see he's got a bounce in his step. Jimmy Patso certainly has one in his, as they are thinking about tomorrow night. In 45 seconds, they will move on to the MAAC championship game for just the second time in school history. Again, the only other time the Greyhounds have been to the finals, back in '94 under the late Skip Prosser, when they beat Manhattan 80-75 for the NCAA tournament berth. Etherly. Oh. Rob Poole challenged him to make sure it wasn't a highlight reel dunk, but the foul allows for a three-point play opportunity.
Well, he was able to sneak the basket, and that still may sneak its way into a highlight play. When he extends, he's got those long arms, and as you said, the lefty catches you off guard at times.
Downey, nice pass in Anasicki, and Anasicki throws it down. Pressure's broken, and with the shot clock off, Walker, instead of attacking the basket, classy move just to hold on. Jimmy Patsos makes the walk to midcourt as his team from Loyola University, Maryland, knocks off Siena 70-60 to go on to the MAAC championship game.
And Doug, they were able to do it because they were able to wear down this undermanned Siena team. Their pressure defense, not necessarily forcing all the turnovers, but what it did is it forced Siena to use a lot of energy to handle that pressure defense. And late in the ball game, that's where the fatigue really became a big factor.
As our Pepsi Max player of the game, Eric Etherly, after having a battle with Odi Anasicki, they congratulate each other. And while Anasicki and the Saints see their season come to an end, the Loyola Greyhounds have moved on to take on Fairfield in tomorrow night's championship game, the 2 against the 4, Rob. It'll be a 7 o'clock tip on ESPN2. All right, Joe Boylan standing by with the Loyola Greyhounds. Joe.
Okay, thank you. Eric, what a great performance you've had so far. What does it mean to you to get the team to the championship game?
Man, it's one of our goals that we've had since the beginning of the season, and so it's like a dream come true, but we still have one more game.
What was the difference tonight?
The difference was energy for us. You know, we knew that we had our legs and that we were ready to go, and it showed at the end. They were up on us early, but we wore them down over time.
Thanks a lot. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks.
Coach Patsos, you took over a program that had one win. How did you get it back to the MAAC championship?
I was lucky. A nice guy named Joe Boylan hired me. Miracle. I'll tell you, today we played a really tough Siena team with good seniors and a leading rebounder in the country in Odie Anasicki. So it's not going to be one guy, Joe. And I think it's with our defense. Winbush stepped up, shots in the first half, and then Ethelly and Olsen just compete. I didn't think we actually played great today, but I'll tell you, hats off to Mitch Bonagura with 6 guys. They just did a great job this year. I thought we were kind of lucky to win today, Joe.
Okay. Good luck tomorrow night, Jimmy.
Thanks, Joe. Should be a great one. The Jesuit Challenge.
Back to you, Doug and Rob.
All right. Thank you, Joe. And as Coach Patsos referenced, the man who just interviewed him is the one who hired him away from the University of Maryland 8 years ago. And my, how times have changed. The Greyhounds are heading back to the MAAC finals for just the second time in program history.
And the biggest reason why Joe hired him was because the program was in big-time need of some energy. And boy, did they get a big-time energy guy in Jimmy Patsos.
Now, this team has got to now face Fairfield tomorrow night. What are your thoughts about the championship game?
Well, they split the 2 regular season meetings. You and I had the game down there at Loyola the last time these 2 teams met, and it was a defensive battle won by the Stags. I think you're going to have a defensive battle in the championship game.
Well, partner, it's been a lot of fun again this year.
As always,
and
every year.
We will turn it over to the boys from ESPN for tomorrow night's championship game. We hope you can join them at 7 o'clock on ESPN2 for Loyola against Fairfield. But for us, we are done with the semifinal round with Loyola winning 70-60 over Siena. Join us tomorrow for our MAAC championship broadcast on ESPN2. Our coverage starts with the women's game at noon on ESPNU, and then the men's championships, Fairfield against Loyola, at 7 o'clock. For Rob Kennedy, Joe Boylan, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Doug Sherman saying so long from Springfield, Massachusetts. The proceeding has been a presentation of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference.